it's 4 o'clock, I think we can get started.
Yes, ma'am.
And we will open the meeting with a review of the minutes. If there, anybody had any corrections or additions to the minutes from our last meeting.
I'll move to accept the minutes.
Second.
All those approve, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Michelle?
Okay, at our July 8th Town Council meeting, we had a public hearing on ordinance number 235, which is really combining two different chapters and resource protection standards, creating a resource protection standards, which is floodplain and, what was the other one? Forest conservation? Yeah, floodplain and forest conservation chapters, to bring them up to code with the state legislation and also to make it easier for people that need to use the code and combining them into one chapter. We also did a couple liquor license letters of support. Dunes Bagels wants a wine and beer license on site, and Luxury Liquors is taking over the liquor store in the Brighton Marketplace that closed and reopening it. We also approved the mayor to sign the Community Parks and Playground Grant and the MOU for a pass-through grant that we got through Community Parks and Playground for the St. Mary's County. They're doing a splash pad at the governmental center. And only towns can get the Community Parks and Playground grant, so we're doing it as a pass-through to them. We also signed a proposal for Tudor Hall Tower and Greenbrier Water Towers. There are two older towers, and it's a maintenance agreement. It's going to be, Tudor Hall will be painted this year, but it's a 10-year maintenance agreement that they come and do the inspections and keeps us all online with the MDE requirements. And also, we just don't have the staff to go out and do those. We have to hire someone to come in and with the equipment. So this will be something that's ongoing every year, and this company takes care of it automatically. We also signed an agreement with Cedar Lane Senior Living to act as their responsible entity for their environmental review for their Evergreen at Cedar Lane project that they're moving forward with. It's just, you have to have a local government representative in this role, but they have an environmental specialist that's on staff and that they hire and does the paperwork and everything. And then we also approved an agreement for Ryan LLC for tax services related to a grant that we received for solar power at our wastewater treatment plant and a couple other facilities. We had received a $600,000 grant with a $50,000 match, and then we could get a federal tax credit up to make it more like $1 million. And then it really saved us on pretty much in the positive on our electric bills. So that project's moving forward, and we needed to hire someone to get through the federal part to do the paperwork. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions?
Okay. Then we will go on to the new business. We have case number 104-06, Park Avenue Apartments Concept Plan Development Plan at 41665 Fenwick Street. The owner consultant is requesting concept approval to renovate and add a second story to the existing building.
So members, the proposed property, or the property, consists of two existing buildings. The first building fronts on Fenwick Street, which is approximately 3,800 square foot. The first building is a two-story building with 3 ground floor commercial businesses. The second story consists of 6 apartments. The second existing building is to the rear of the first building on the property and is what is being submitted for review. The second building has a footprint of approximately 1,284 square feet. Their owner is proposing to add a second story to the existing second building. This building is being proposed to be 2 stories, which will contain 3 apartment units. The project is required to have 6 off-street parking spaces. Per the town ordinance chapter 155 chart B, the site has 2 existing parking spaces. The concept design is reflecting no additional on-site parking. The owner is requesting to pay an in-lieu fee of $1,200 per space as referenced in resolution 6-20, which I'm attached in your package. The background, the property as referenced above is seeking concept approval for the planning commission to add the second story to the rear existing building. The proposed project has a proposed limits of construction, which is 3,125 square foot with 119 square foot of actual soil disturbance for the new stairs and the entryway on the other side of the building. Because the proposed project limit of construction is under 5,000 square foot, it is not required to be reviewed by St. Mary's County Soil Conservation District or St. Mary's County Department of Public Works and Transportation for stormwater management. The town planning department has requested the owner consult provide a signed parking agreement for the 5 existing parking spaces to the east of the existing building that are being utilized by both Benchmark Properties and LE8 LLC. During construction, the subject property is proposing to utilize 2 parking spots to the east of the existing building for a laydown area for materials during construction. Per chapter 155-51, the planning department has determined that prior to issuance of a building permit, the owner must provide an in-lieu fee for the additional 4 additional parking spaces required for its site development improvements. Per Town Municipal Code, Chapter 155-51, properties within the CB zoning district where particular difficulties, including the acquisition of property and undue hardship, are encountered in providing off-street parking areas for the premises, the Planning and Zoning Commission may recommend to Town Council to accept an in lieu there for the property, or for the parking spots. A payment by the applicant to offset the parking deficiency. The amount of such payment is determined by Resolution 6-20, in which the mayor and council of Leonardtown set the fee at $1,200 per space. Therefore, the total amount will be due is $4,800. The applicant is requesting concept site development plan approval and recommendation to town council for the requested in lieu fee for the required parking. The Planning and Zoning Commission can vote to approve with conditions, delay, or deny. Staff recommendation is the town planning staff has determined that the proposed concept site development plan is consistent with the 2025 comprehensive plan and the applicable provisions of the town of Leonardtown Municipal Code. Staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission review the submitted documentation and grant concept approval and recommendation to town council for the in lieu fee for the required off-street parking. And I have Mr. Justin Cheseldine here. They'd probably like to say a few words, maybe.
Sure.
Okay.
Justin Cheseldine, gas management agent with Benchmark Properties. We have been failing to gain traction for a commercial tenant in our space there. As you all know, it's kind of hidden back there a little bit. And we felt that the best value add option is what we are proposing. We feel that it will fit good, and we feel it will continue to help support the businesses here in town. And we at Benchmark Properties feel that we've been good partners with the town, and we'd like to continue that. And we also have Mr. Sonny Guy, our PE on the project. Should you have any more technical questions, I'm confident that Sonny could address us.
Does anybody have any questions to ask about this? Or comments?
Well, the only issue is the parking, it seems
Yeah.
like.
I do have concerns about that.
Well, I can just
that's what
address the
we've done
parking
to
fee.
other
Right.
buildings
Yeah, I
in
was
the
gonna say, could you
area.
describe that more?
So
Where
if
they
there's
have-
in 2004, we did a parking study that counted the spaces that we have in town, and there's plenty of spaces, it's just a matter of getting people to find them and know where they're at. And so we've done a lot in the last few years to help direct traffic and pedestrians. When the fee in lieu was instituted, I think that it needs to be updated for sure. They didn't set it as high as it was recommended back in 2004, and we haven't updated it. So it does need to be updated. But it really was meant to help redevelop properties like PNC Bank that don't have any parking, have never had parking, and they've relied on public parking. But you have to have access to public parking. You have to be located in a place where it's reasonable. You can't be far away from any public parking and have that apply. So if any project would be able to apply to that fee in lieu, it would be, this property is basically in the parking lot. So there's a lot of empty spaces at the red brick. We have several buildings, the PNC Bank, over the Sweet Bay, the Rex, they don't have parking for their apartments, but at night there's usually parking, and so we actually give hanging tags to the residents above those buildings, and they have certain parking areas that they can park in, and no one else is supposed to park there during the evening hours and on weekends. And that way, hopefully it takes them off the street from the on-street parking and puts them in parking lots where we have openings. So that's really what it was designed to do, is to fix up or go up a story for some of the buildings, and we've utilized it on several buildings. And it goes into a fund, it's held, and we have a fund separate from everything else, so that someday when we do a parking garage, it will go toward that.
So these apartments then, they would be given a parking permit, like Sweet Bay's apartments?
We would need to talk about that for sure. They typically wouldn't park on the square. Usually we do that for like a PNC Bank building, a Sweet Bay building, and the Rex, where you have people that are fronting on the square and the tenants want to park in the parking spaces and take up the parking spaces for visitors. We haven't done it for the apartments on Fenwick Street before, but we will look at that and see, and maybe they require that they park in the red brick area which always has spaces across from Good Earth. We haven't done it for this building previously, but we will look at that. It may be a good idea, since these are, backing up closer to the square, whereas the Fenwick Street businesses usually park behind and walk through the alley that we did the sidewalk.
One of the stipulations that I've spoke with Sonny as the engineer was that specifically during construction, that the plan has to tell them to park in that bottom parking area in front of where the town storage building is, because I didn't want it to adversely affect the tenants and things that were right behind Sweet Bay during that construction. So, and that was one of the other reasons why the laydown area is actually on the east side of the building and not in the kind of the intersection of those alleys, if you will.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
considering that's where I park.
Also, I think that, right now you think that there's probably room out there for them to park without any problem, but as the town gets busier and more crowded, they may need to have those permits.
Right.
And I think they should be granted. I think that should be part of
That's
the-
fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
And we can we add that on to the in lieu of part? Or-
Sure, and recommend
We
that
recommend
they
that.
also have parking permits.
It would only
I
be
mean,
a couple, considering there's two, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a commercial parcel and, with more traffic, but, over the years, it's been a doctor's office, it was, an artist's gallery last, but, that's not a problem if we put that stipulation on there. I mean, it actually helps them because they are pretty much guaranteed a spot then.
Right.
Well, did the motel have to buy any parking spaces? I can't remember.
No, they had enough.
They had enough.
Yeah.
But the people
We've
do-
always, we've always had an agreement with them because a lot of staff and a lot of people in these buildings park in the parking lot that's actually hotel parking during the day. And then a lot of their guests park in the public lot across the street. So from the beginning, we've had an agreement with them that we share parking. So it's always worked out, both ways, because we're not here at night and they're not here in the daytime. Usually they don't have, they have empty spaces.
The irony of the hotel is that most people think the public parking lot is the hotel's lot, and
Mhm,
everyone thinks the
yeah.
hotel's lot is public
I
parking.
know.
Which it kind of all is.
Yeah,
In the end, it's the same. But
yeah,
If you're not from here, you see that lot. If you're
right,
from the hotel,
right.
you park there.
And, you know, we're doing a lot of research on, you know, when and how we fund a parking garage. You know, we purchased that brick paved lot and added on to the original municipal lot in 2004, and the plan was to build a 3-tier parking deck there. That's what, when we instituted this parking fee in lieu. But now it's more, the growth is more toward Lawrence Avenue in that way. And so we're thinking that a garage somewhere right around Lawrence Avenue is actually possibly where we would probably put it, and maybe be a public-private partnership with someone that develops in the Tudor Hall project as that moves forward. So we have, our downtown plan adjusts several different sites that might work for a parking garage. It's $25,000 plus a space to build a parking garage. We've had conversations with different government agencies, and, you know, we're looking into it. I don't think we're quite to that point yet, but certainly as Tudor Hall moves forward, it's something that we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, it's definitely something we're gonna seem to be talking about more.
I mean, we've tried to do things like, we purchased the tram, from Ocean City, that for large events, but we also recently purchased a 6-passenger golf cart that we can, I hope to have it in time to utilize this summer to run between all the different parking lots and give people rides to the restaurants in downtown if they have to park maybe at the courthouse or things like that in the evenings on the busier nights. So just little things like that we can do to help businesses to not be affected by parking.
So now, will they be back for any architecture or not?
Yes, they'll be back so they, still have to go through fire marshal approval. They have to come back for architectural approval from you. I did give you, a snippet of what the owner is thinking this is going to look like, in case you had any, comments, maybe for directive, but I thought it was pretty in line with what you guys typically like, so.
Well, it's as long as it's, you know, it fits in with the other buildings and.
Correct, and it does.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion, it does. And yes, the property will also, the building will have to also be sprinkled. Have a sprinkler system in it. So we'll still need to address water meters and things of that nature, but that comes with the final design.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? We have a motion.
So what's the wording that you want to?
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to add that they would be issued parking permits.
Could be
For
in
the-
lieu fee in addition to parking permits or parking permits, yeah.
Yeah, well, that part is here. It says, you know, that they have to pay that fee, and then you can just tack on to
That's what I
that.
said, just tack on to
That
that.
the apartments would be issued parking permits to use in the,
So town council actually has to award or approve the in lieu fee for the parking. So you can do it as a recommendation to town council that they issue.
issue the permits.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, you ready to do it now?
That's all you want.
Oh, I didn't write it down.
I just said.
Let's see. I will just read it off and you can stick in the addition. I move to approve with an amendment. Is that how I should say it? No, I move to approve the concept site design for case number 104-06D, Park Avenue Apartments, a 3-unit residential apartment building with associated utility infrastructure, and to recommend to town council the review of the in lieu fee request,
And recommend
and recommend
that they would be given the apartments would be given, permits for the public parking lot.
And recommend that the residents be given parking permits by the town, as required by town municipal resolution 620 for off-site parking. I think we inserted that in the wrong place, but
That's fine, okay.
It's on the record.
She'll straighten it out in a minute, right?
Yes.
I got you.
Sorry,
I'll
Judy.
second.
All right, everybody in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations, and we'll be looking forward to seeing the apartments back there.
Thank you for your time.
And we'll see you for the architectural review. Did you review all the?
Yeah, I was a little busy in June.
Yeah, I was just
I
gonna
saw
say,
that.
going on. 8,000 this town.
No, it's nicely colored, it looks great.
Well, I tried to do that just to make it a little easier for all the different types of permits. It's got a little detail in the back.
Love
You really went to building out there, didn't you?
They did, they're not all being constructed at one time, I can assure you, but they are.
They're moving around, they're not there.
They're laying, well, so they started on, phase 5, they have the grading permit for phase 5 of the town, another section of 73 townhouses. And, the phase, 4, which is a single family, I think they have actually finished the rough grading for the whole 12 lots. And I suspect that they'll be in for some permits for those here shortly. Matter of fact, I think I have one in right now. But I have to wait till soil conservation approves it.
Anybody else have any comments?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor say
Aye.
aye.